So you know this is Baruch Fleischman, the Saba of the Tikkun Elevator, Kollel, and your lift manager here. So this is Parshas Mishpatim. You know that the Parshas Mishpatim talks about if you buy a Hebrew slave. So comes over here Rebbe Shimon and he says like this, Pasuk Rebbe Shimon v'Amar, Rebbe Shimon began his book, Veilach Mishpatim v'Shatasim Levanehem. That's the beginning of Parshas Mishpatim. He says the targum of that, so if you translate in Aramaic, v'ilin dinaya the tisadach b'kademechum, you should place these before you. Ilin inin sidurin the Gilgul. And what sidurim are we talking about? What order are you arranged? Maybe the word is arranged real good. We're talking about the arrangement or the order of the Gilgul, of the Gilgul. That is, after death, to come back into the world in another body. He says, Dinin the nishmasim is danu kol chad v'chad the kabel onshe. All of this has to do, he says, with the concept of dinim, which is punishments. The nishmasim, because of these neshamas, is danu kol chad v'chad, that each individual neshama is judged the kabel onshe, to receive its punishment. So he says, in the introduction we had learned that we're talking about that Gilgulim is thought to be much worse than Gehenna. Because Gehenna is one time in, one time out, you're out. And you're in heaven and you're in the place of Tzaddikim. But with the Gilgulim, apparently there wasn't enough there to send to Gehenna. So you have to come back in the world and start all over again. So the pasuk says if you get a Hebrew slave, you should work him 5 years. And in the 7th year he'll go out free, owing nothing. So the Chavria said, now is the time to come and to reveal many different kinds of secrets that were hidden inside of this concept of the Gilgul. Because it says, Ki tikne eved ivri, shesh shonim ya'avod. Let him serve you, let him work, or work with him, let him work. 6 years. Kad nishbasa is chayvach begilgula. This has to do with the amount of time that the neshama has to keep coming back into different bodies. Now, let me see where this started. Here it is. He says, a Maskil Rebbe Shimon, the parsha pasuk, and the Rebbe Shimon wants to explain these parsufim, the Amar. Kisikna eved ivri, shei shanam ya'abo de v'shvichus yetze l'chav shechinam. Hikdim v'amar the salmidav. So he says that was the phrase. So he works you work him 7 years, and then he goes out free after that. And so, but then he prefaced this and he said that Tamidim Chaverim, so talking about the yeshiva. Eden Hocha the Galal Kamen Razin the Miriam the Gilgul. So now this is the time that's come here to reveal many different secrets of Gilgul. So now at the time that we're learning these particular Pesukim, which is talking about an Evid, that's the time Haruya the Galos Kambasodos and the storms. So now is the time to reveal many different kinds of secrets that have been hidden away. Shel Gilgulim and their Mazim Khan and Gilgulim that really has to do, that's referenced here. Shesh Shal HaGilgul, that is the reinvestment in a new body after death. That particular phrase, this is talking when the neshama is obligated to come back into another body again. So when the person has to come back, that because of the sins that he did while he was alive, so then we're going to see there's 2 different ways that you can make a tikkun, or that's the way it's laid out in 2 different ways, as we're going to explain. Now, let's just see this little piece here and see how much we could do now. Imhi misitra dahaku eved metat. Now I pronounce it metat. You can see that it's two words, it's metat, and then the last word is aron. Aron is like an ending, I'm not sure what. It's the arena is a Lashon, festival or something joyous. And so there's a vav in the middle. And so the vav in the middle always represents something like zer anpin, but at any rate, that's always zer anpin. Metat, I really should count it up. Look, it's 49, 58, 258, and 50 is 308 plus 6 is 314. Now, offhand, I don't know exactly what that is. So I don't know. I don't see anything there. Let me go on. Kihi mesitra dahaku evet betat. The ihu kolul shisitrin, who is composed of 6 different sides. Kasiv be shei shanim ya'avot. So therefore, you match that up with this idea that you should Yehebe shei shanim ya'avot. So the 6 sides of metat go along with the 6 years. Gilgul de lo lo mitzchayva ela shish shinin. So that the gilgulim, that a person that not a person, but the neshama of a neshama. So he says that the person is interchangeable. That's what I'm getting out of this. The person is interchangeable. The real issue, what Rebbe Shimon says, is what's happening with your neshama. It's only 6 days, in other words, 6 different times. That's why I think of pshat. Until he completes the 6 times from that place that, I guess, where his sin was. Let's see how the Matuk translates it. He says, "Va'omer ki im hi misitra dahaku eved im neshama zu hi mitzad eved ahu sheba'olam hayitzira." Now, this is what we have to know, is that this is one of the main things that I look for as to try to understand this malach, and it always has the same language. It says that the malach is called a slave. So his mitzad eved ahu sheba'olam hayitzira, and this is the main malach of olam hayitzira. Olam Yitzira corresponds to Zer Anpin. It's the middle line, it's the letter Vav. Vav is a 6, so here you have the concept 6 right away. Shuhu Malach Metat, Hanikra Eved Ivri, the Malchus the Chatzilus. It's called the servant, is called the servant or the slave to the Malchus of Atzilus. Now, this is what I understand, is that, I'm not sure that I understand, but I was explaining that this is a concept of Zer Anpin. Zer Anpin is that the male is at the service of the female. But I'm not sure of that. That's just my preliminary idea. Then it says the Ihu Kolul Shis Sitrin. Shu Kolul Sheish Kitzvos, there's 6 corners. Shehem Klalos Olam Yitzira, which is really the nature of Olam HaYitzira, the Fishu Bechina Zer Anpin. Now there you go. HaKoil Vok, which is 5 different sides, 6 different sides, which is Chesed Gevurah Tiferes Netzachod Yisod. Behind the Sheneshama Zu Nimshcha LaAdam Zivug Hanaasi B'Mosachol. So he says the neshama of this person came to that person as a result of the yichud of his parents, Hanaasi B'Mosachol, that happened on the weekdays. So then you could only pull the neshamas not from Atzilus, but from the lower worlds, which is Bria, Yitzir, and Asiyah. So there it's written on that is of the neshama kazul, this kind of neshama. Rotzalomar, that is the Gilgulim Shehit Sricha, his Galgal. We're talking about the fact you have to re-enter, the neshama has to re-enter into other bodies. Today, the sakan of Avanosach, in order to be able to rebuild or what's the right word, to repair her sins. So he says that we're all Gilgulim probably. We have Gilgulim within us. And it only has to come back 6 times. So if you are not able to affect the tikkun, and on the first time you get 6 different shots at it, until it's actually be able to fulfill, to complete, and rebuild So that until he's able to rebuild the 6 different levels, now he's not really trying to tell me exactly what the 6 levels are, but let's say it corresponds to Chesed Gevurah Tiferes Netzach Hod Yesod in some way, Shel Osach HaMakom of that place that they were taken from and carved out of. In other words, the place of the real sin that you're talking about, you're trying to fix. Shehem Chechelo Shel Olam Yitzira, which are the palaces Olam Yitzira, Sod Sheish Tziras Chagat Nai. This is what we say. Chagat Nai is the same thing as Chesed Gevurah Tiferes. That's a Chod Yisod. Now let's see to get a little bit. I know we may run over time here, but this is a little exciting little piece here for me. He said Ki HaChesed Mislavish Behechel Av. So let's understand what Chesed. The in Yitzira, he's talking about Chesed, is in this sphere called Av. Gevurah mislavesh behechel hazchus, Tiferes mislavesh behechel haratzon, Netzach mislavesh behechel noga, and Hod mislavesh behechel etzem hashemayim. So each one of them has a name. Now you see this in the Rishash Siddur, and each one of them has a name of a particular palace. So this palace, this last one, the number 5, is behechel etzem hashemayim. So the next one is Yesod mislavesh behechel livnas hasaper. And then also, Malchus is included in that. This is in the Eitz Chaim. It goes through these different Heichelos. Because in these places, in these 6 places, these Heichelos, is the origin, he says, are rooted kol mitzvahs. Ki mitzvahs aseh beso the yomim ein bechesed. So the mitzvahs aseh on the right side, that's how it goes, they're chesed. Mitzvahs los aseh, so the small, so the other mitzvahs the aseh those on the left side, hein begevura. V'hatiferes hu hatera kulo. So the Tiferes really comes out to be complete in total Torah. In other words, a balance. V'nai hein Tanakh. So the nai represents the Tanakh, the books of the Torah. V'hakasav edaber im haguf. The kasav is really speaking about the body of omelo, and it says to him like this. Ki sikne, that is what? Ata haguf, Eved ivri, hainu neshama ma'olam yitzirach hanikra Eved. So these are the neshama that comes from that place. Shei shanim ya'avod, you can work 7 days, 7 years, 6 years. Pirish neshama zu, yechola lehizgagol, it's able to come back into different bodies after death. Ad sheish pa'amim, until they could do this ad sheish pa'amim. Let me read this again. Ki neshama zu yechola lehizgagol, it could reincarnate itself ad sheish pa'amim, it's up to 6 times. Im lo zachsa lehiztakein b'pa'am rishon, if they're not able to be mistakein on the first try. But tzricha la'avod she'ivod malacha v'yisurim, so a person is going to have to get involved. What? La'avor she'ivod, the indenture that we're indentured to try to keep ourselves alive in this country, of work, v'yisurim, and all different kinds of things, v'choloyim, v'dalos, and sicknesses, and poverty, v'tilta, v'taraf, and then we're banged around from one place to another and torn apart, b'zecha ba'olim, kadei l'sakein avanoseha, in order to be able to fix those sins. This is Baruch Fleischman, and that has been the Holy Zohar for this day. I guess what today is the 24th and of Shevat, and 5783. Let me see how I'm looking for my mouse. Here it is.